on the Survival Radio Network, the network you can't live without. The name says it all. Think Positive is a call to action, and change starts in the mind. Weekly, our listeners seek to improve their family, spirit, and community. Our show speaks directly to the hearts and minds of listeners while motivating action towards positive change. Join us here every Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Call us at 917-932-1078 and visit us at www.thinkpositiveradio.com. And now your hosts, Telly and Maurice.
Welcome to Think Positive Radio. I am Telly.
And I am Maurice, and we are Miracle Media. And just a quick reminder that by tuning into today's show, you are officially waiving your right to mediocrity, insecurities, and the trap of a lukewarm lifestyle.
The show is brought to you by Miracle Media and Think Positive magazine. Think Positive has positioned itself as an authority in positive content, so you guys make sure you visit us at thinkpositivemag.com.
Absolutely. And real quick, we'd just like to take a quick moment to extend a very, very warm and loving welcome to the over 600,000 listeners of Survival Radio Network. Thank you for joining us for today's show. Speaking of today's show, Kelly, my brother, as usual, we have a great show planned for our listeners and fellow positive thinkers. We have Miss Danyelle Little of the very successful and popular blog, The Cubicle Chick. Maybe we should call her Danyelle Successful versus Danyelle Little, but we'll get to that later. She's going to be joining us to talk about her amazing journey to success, brother, and I can't wait to hear from her.
Yes. Danyelle actually is known as a work and life management professional and a careerist. She's a rising star amongst her peers with over a decade of experience in benefit administration and human resources. Danyelle actually created the CubicleChick.com to discuss topics important to working parents and entrepreneurs. Glamour Magazine, Wall Street Journal, Huffington Post, they all have tapped Danyelle to share her thoughts on newsworthy items relating to workplace issues and employee relations. That's a pretty impressive resume, huh, Reese?
Very, very impressive, my brother. And, that's exactly the type of caliber of guests that we'd like to continue to bring on our show and expose our guests to, Telly. And just good people to have in your circle, you know what I mean?
Definitely, good, positive people. And so without further ado, Danyelle, welcome to Think Positive Radio.
There we go.
Hello,
how you doing today, Danyelle? We can hear you. How you doing?
I'm well. Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you spending some time with us and our listeners. This is Maurice, by the way. I know sometimes my brother Telly and I often get mistaken for having the same voice. But yeah, again, thank you for spending time with us on today's show, and we're really looking to have a good time and really pick your brain and again, talk about your journey to success and all the great things that you've been able to accomplish.
So let's get started.
Ready. Well, you ready? Okay.
I love it.
You think you're ready. But you know what? Hey, Danyelle, tell us about your professional life before you started your blog, and what was that light bulb moment that made you actually get into this field?
That's a very good question. I think about that often because I don't think I experienced a light bulb moment, so to speak. But before I became the Cubicle Chick, I worked as a property manager, and I did benefits management and human resources here in the St. Louis area. So I did that. I was doing that for over 10 years, and I got laid off. And I thought I thought it was just a temporary layoff. So I had a blog that was just kind of a hobby. So I started really doing more with the blog. And then I found out that I wasn't going to be coming back to that job, that they had got rid of my position. And so I said, what can I do? So I was going on countless interviews here in St. Louis trying to get a job. I was getting job offers, but I wasn't getting the type of money that I was used to getting. And so I just thought, well, I have this blog, I have this social media presence. maybe I can turn it into a business. I've seen other people do it. I did some research, worked on a business plan, and prayed. And 4 years later, I'm here.
Wow. You know what? That's very interesting because I'm sure that a lot of people in this country have kind of went through something similar. You know, obviously with the recession a couple years ago, many people have been laid off and ended up being at home really trying to figure out, hey, now how can I make some money? I'm going on all of these interviews. How can I make some money even from home? What's the science behind the CubicleChick.com? Why did you call it the Cubicle Chick?
When I first got started with the blog, again, it was a hobby. I was a working mom, and I didn't see a lot of blogs that were written for working parents. I saw a lot of blogs that were written for people who worked but didn't have children, and then I saw a lot of blogs that were written for stay-at-home parents, but they didn't work.
Sure.
So I wanted to kind of bridge the gap because I worked, pretty much, since I was 18. And I wanted a place where people could go to get information about being a working parent and juggling and work-life balance. And so I was sitting at my desk, and there was a cubicle across from me, and I was like, the Cubicle Chick, that sounds kind of cool. So I just went ahead and bought the domain while at work. Don't do that at home, people. Don't be buying domains at work. But I was at work, and I bought it, and it just kind of stuck. And I kind of love it now, even though I'm not working in a cubicle, because people remember it. They remember it, and it's kind of catchy, and it's brandable, so it kind of just stuck.
You know what? It's very, very catchy. We love it. We love the title of it, and I think that it can really, like I mentioned, speak to a lot of people that are stuck in that cubicle that kind of want to break out and do their own thing, So, hey, positive thinkers, if you're out there, give us a call, 917-932-1078. Call up if you have any questions or comments for Danyelle Little, the CEO and chief editor of the CubicleChick.com. Give us a ring. Now, this show is all about the essentials of creating a successful blog, okay? And so, how would you advise people out there wanting to start an at-home business, an at-home blog, and, what are those first couple steps to make that leap?
Well, the first step, I would say, again, is to buy your domain. There are a lot of services out there, especially with blogging, that will allow you to subdomain or allow you to be blogspot.suchandsuch.com. So I would say the first part of being a successful blog and really set yourself out there is to buy a domain. I think also buying a domain when you actually purchase it, I think that it gives you that kind of like, okay, I purchased something, I bought it, I paid for it, now let me have it work, as opposed to just leaning on a subdomain or leaning on a service. So that would be the first thing I would say. The second thing I would say is to know what it is that you want to talk about. While we've started this show, there's probably been about 100 to 200 blogs created just in that little time.
Wow.
A lot of people are creating blogs, so you need to have something that is different than what's out there. So you need to do your research. You need to find out what people are looking for, what information maybe you have that other people don't have, and then try to bring a different voice and a different spin to it. So you kind of have to really early on, especially now, set yourself apart from everybody else.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, those are some great tips, some great first steps. And I would imagine, once a person discovers, hey, I want to have a affiliate marketing blog or a blog about food or whatever the case is, whatever they decide their passion is, I guess once they do that, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the next step to choose and decide on the content? How do they start to produce that content?
Okay, well, I would say that using social media, especially if you already have a social media presence, I'm going to go back to my story. I started blogging after I had a pretty good social media following. So I crowdsourced a lot. I would go online. I would go on Facebook, Twitter, at the time MySpace. That was a long time ago. But I would ask questions like, what is it that you want, to know when it comes to work-life balance and career? And people would give me really, really great suggestions. And so I was able to take those suggestions and start writing about them. And then not only that, but then when I wrote about it, I would tag that person, and I would say, remember when I asked you a question about what you wanted to read about and you gave me this idea? Well, I actually wrote the post, and here it is. And then guess what? They would share it because they felt like they were a part of the post because they gave me the idea. So definitely creating content, but also thinking outside the box and going to other people and crowdsourcing is a wonderful way to get suggestions and ideas for what it is that the people want to write about.
Now, what's crowdsourcing? Break that down for us.
Crowdsourcing is when you go to a group of people, whether it's in, a group in person, maybe, you're a member of a club or a member of an organization, or online. I use it a lot online. So you go to your social media following and you ask a question. So it could be anything from, what's the biggest news story of today, in your opinion, and would you want me to write about it? Or you can ask questions on, if you have a specific topic, like I do a lot of topics on work-life balance, I would ask, when it comes to work-life balance, what do you struggle with, or what are some of the things that you have issues with or problems with? So a lot of times people, especially on Twitter, I say Twitter is better for that because you get instant results and instant feedback. So you basically use it to get, feedback on whatever topic it is that you need. And then a lot of times you can put that feedback into an article.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely can. I can see how a person that is starting a blog, if they implement these steps, they're going to be off to a great start. How frequently should someone post?
That is going to be contingent on what your blog is about. So, for instance, my blog is a career and lifestyle blog. Most of the people that read my blog they're either career-oriented or they're entrepreneurs. So for my audience, I typically write Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday. I don't really write on the weekends. Number one, that's not a part of my work-life mantra. I feel like on weekends that should be for family and off time. But if you have a gossip site or a news type of site, site that has a lot of things going on 24/7, you may post every day, 10 times a day. Mm-hmm. So it just really depends on the type of blog that you have, and then the needs of your readers. So I think that it's kind of, it just depends on what it is that you're writing about.
Okay, so the frequency is definitely based on the subject matter of the blog. Any other factors that may influence the frequency?
Well, of course, holidays, things of that nature. For me, I typically don't write on holidays. I also I call it go black when there's a really big news story on, because the thing about it is when I post, it goes all over my social media, so it goes on my Facebook and my Twitter. And so when there's a really important news story that's out there that the world is wanting to read, and since I don't really blog about that, it would be insensitive of me to be posting stuff. So I'll usually go black during those times to, number one, sit and watch the story unfold like everybody else, and I might even tweet about it, but I won't, necessarily blog about it. And number two, I don't want people to be like, well, she's posting about work-life balance, and meanwhile, such and such just passed away, or,
right,
this person is missing and we don't know where they are, or something like that. So you want to be mindful of what's going on around you and not be on autopilot so much that you look insensitive to some of your readers.
Wow, yeah, you know what, that makes a lot of sense. Hey, Danyelle, thank you so much for those tips. Hey, we're off to a good start here at Think Positive Radio. Guys, we're going to take our first break. Remember, call in if you have any questions or comments We are talking about the essentials of creating a successful blog. We'll be right back.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
I want to be a warm place on a cold day.
I want to be a bike that races around the country.
I want to be a bench on a forest trail.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Ryan Seacrest for RAD. Over 300 people in this country are killed every week by a drunk driver. That's the equivalent of 2 747 plane crashes every single week. And the problem isn't going away unless we all do our part to stop it. So if you see someone who's about to drive after drinking, get the keys. Don't leave it up to anyone else. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
More and more people are making their purchases online, and their number one resource is ShopSquare.com. At ShopSquare.com, they're committed to excellence and top-notch customer service. ShopSquare.com is empowering customers just like you by providing them with the best details online anytime. If you're looking for electronics, home decor, home appliances, sporting equipment, college wear, or fashion, ShopSquare.com is where you'll want to be. Go to www.shopsquare.com or give us a call at 877-659-0807. That's 877-659-0807.
Houston, Atlanta, Dallas. Calling out all high school seniors and current college students. Listen up.
Don't let your barriers block your blessing.
And don't let your past dictate your future.
Because we have a challenge for you.
Hi, this is Dorian Paul Williams, formerly of the great Charlie Wilson and the Gap Band, and founder of the Fathers Who Will Foundation. We created a unique scholarship called the C Average Encouragement Scholarship. That's right, C Average Encouragement Scholarship, because of students just like this. And we come into your town to bless you. Hit them with the website.
That's www.cscholarshiptour.com.
That's www.cscholarshiptour.com.
So,
you may be a C Average student now,
but with a little more encouragement and motivation,
let's show the world what you can be.
Welcome back to Think Positive Radio. We appreciate you guys staying tuned in. It's been a great first segment. You know, again, we have the majestic Miss Danyelle Little of the Cubicle Chick joining us here to talk about some great things. Yeah, I'm just coming up with terms as they pop into my mind. Terms of endearment as they pop into my mind. But nonetheless, I mean, these are all complimentary terms, and she's definitely deserving of them all. She's doing great things. We, again, thank you for spending some time with us, Danyelle, and talking about all this. So kind of getting back to the meat of the matter, we've been talking a lot about, you know, the essentials for kind of building out a successful blog presence, and we want to talk to you about, you know, effective ways for relating to your readers. Do you have kind of tips and pointers around that? Like, you talked a little bit about crowdsourcing and social media. I'm assuming that plays a part of it. Are there additional ways or additional effective ways that you find yourself looking to relate to your readers of your blog, and even tips like that you can share for others who are interested in doing that?
Yeah, well, definitely, without your readership, you're not going to have a successful blog. So it's very important that you reach out to your readers, that you thank them. I try to, as much as possible, when my content is shared over social media platforms, to thank people for sharing. And when they comment on the blog, I take a couple of days a week to go through all the comments and try to reply to everybody. I also respond to every single email that I get for my website.
Nice.
Some weeks I can get, just 5 or 6. Some weeks I can get 30, depending on what I've been talking about and things of that nature. So I always make sure to take time to respond to my readers. I never want my readers to feel like, I feel like I'm above them, because they're the reason why I'm able to do what I do. And so it's very important for me to reach out to them. I also, on my Facebook page, a lot of my readers are also entrepreneurs too. So if they have a new site themselves that they want me to share, or they have a product or service that they want to create a buzz about, I'm very good. I try to be very good at posting that on my Facebook page to let other people see what they're doing. And I'm also, one of the things I've been doing now is getting people to guest blog on my site. A lot of readers themselves have started blogs, and they want to build up their readership. So I'll give them a platform in order, for them to do so. So those are all kind of ways that I try to interact with my readers. And I've started recently doing Google Hangouts with some of my readers, so they can kind of pick my brain and ask me questions.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a very, very important part. You got to stay humble, and you got to stay real, and you got to give back to the people who put you where they have.
Awesome. And I think that's a large part as to why you're so successful and why you're so blessed when it comes to this. And so I've actually participated in a couple of Google Hangouts. I think they are very interesting. But for those of us who don't even know what that is, I mean, it's a relatively new technology in the whole timeline of all the different things that have been released over the last couple of years. So tell us a little bit about that. And you mentioned that you participate. How is the Cubicle Chick represented in Google Hangouts?
Well, first it starts with being on Google+. For some social media professionals, and I use that term very loosely, professionals, a lot of people still don't get Google+. They still don't use Google+ a lot, but it's basically a social media platform that Google has developed. And inside of the social media platform is what they call Hangouts, where you can actually utilize your webcam or your laptop camera or whatever, and you can hang out with and have a video conference with other users. And it could be a live Google Hangout, meaning you can broadcast it across your YouTube channel where everybody can see it, or you can have a private Google Hangout where it's just you and another person or you and a group of people. And in it, you can basically share. It's like a chat room, so it's video, but you can also chat, share links, share information. If you have a document you want to exchange, you can attach documents. And a lot of people are using Hangouts to consult. So, if you're in different states, it's a great way to be able to offer services for free and consult others online. So it's a really, for me, it's a really useful platform, and I hope more people start using it. But it's a good way to visualize and visually communicate with other people.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I was impressed the very first time I used it, and it was kind of for someone was actually hosting an online seminar in a topic that I was very, very interested in, and the whole Google Hangout experience was just rather awesome. So for those of you out there who haven't used it or even heard of it, make sure that you spend some time. I mean, you're hearing it from a professional. She's telling you kind of some keys to success here, people. So if you don't have a pen out now, get the pen out now and take notes. Speaking of tools of the trade, Google Hangouts is one of yours. Do you have other things that you use regularly? And I'm asking from the perspective of someone, as we have been mentioning. I am interested in starting a blog. Some people, as you mentioned, have already taken that brave step over the last 25 minutes since the show has been on the air and started because they knew where to even begin and knew what technologies to maybe use to kind of help them out with that. Do you have some other tools of the trade that you kind of use, everything from, WordPress, et cetera, to kind of get you going?
Yeah, definitely. WordPress is my platform of choice. There are many different blogging platforms. There's Typepad, there's Blogspot, which is the Google product. There's Squarespace. There's a lot of them, but WordPress is my go-to. It's just something I've been using since day one, and it allows me to, I guess, it does everything that I need it to do. So I use WordPress, and then in doing WordPress, there's these things called plugins that help you run your blog. So there are tons of plugins that can basically, help run your blog. And so one of the ones I use is like Google Analytics, and I don't want to go through all of them because they're kind of technical. But WordPress, if you Google popular WordPress plugins, you'll get a bevy, a great list of resources there. Hootsuite is something I use a lot. Hootsuite allows you to schedule tweets and social updates without being in front of the computer. So if I know that I have a long day of travel ahead, I can pre-schedule things into my Hootsuite. And there's a paid Hootsuite. That's the one I have, which has some more things that the free version doesn't have, and it also allows you to add people to be able to utilize your account under you. But then there's also a free version. And if you're just starting out, the Hootsuite free version is just fine.
Awesome.
So you have that. MailChimp is another resource I use. I use that for my e-newsletters that I have going out, and I use that for my RSS feed. And the RSS feed is basically the feed of blog posts. Every day that you write a blog post, it goes into your RSS feed. And I have people subscribe to my feed so they get all of my blog posts to their email. So MailChimp is, again, a free service, but they do have paid portions that, allow you to do a little bit more than the free version does. Those are the main, I guess, standout resources, things that I use on a daily basis. I mean, I could probably spend an hour telling you everything. But those are the main. And then if you are a blogger and you're looking for stock photos, a lot of bloggers will use stock photos. You don't want to go on Google Image and just take images because you can get in trouble.
Good tip.
Yeah, you can get into. I know bloggers who've gotten sued by stealing other people's images. Okay, and even if you give them credit,
copyright.
Yes, even if you give them credit, it's still not yours. So you want to make sure that you're using images that you have a license for, and you can do so cheaply by using iStock Photo. That's what I use. And there's different subscription services that you can use for whatever it is that you need. And that's another resource for bloggers that I would say for a beginner. You want to start off not doing anything wrong and being on the up and up. So, yeah, use iStock Photo.
Danyelle, let me ask you a question, and that's definitely a good tip. When I was in my master's program in publishing, I took a whole class on copywriting and learned really a ton of information about that. So I think that's a lot of people that start blogs really don't know much about that particular subject, about copywriting. So definitely thank you for that information. And I'm taking some notes over here as well because I know that you are the queen. The queen. Hey, guys, if you want to call up, if you want to talk to the queen of social media, call 917-932-1078.
1078. She's dropping knowledge bombs out here, guys, straight up. So definitely make sure that you check this out. I mean, this is very, very interesting conversation, talking about how she was able to take blogging from a hobby to a livelihood. Very, very good information.
Yeah. Now, as far as social media goes, I mean, everyone obviously knows about Twitter and Facebook, and, those are the most popular ones. And, of course, you mentioned Google+, which is on the rise. Talk to me about the importance of SEO, what that stands for, and how it relates to getting found on Google.
So SEO, that's a topic that, if you're in the blogging world at all, it's your bread and butter. It's very, very important. Because if you have good content and nobody comes to read it, then, it's going to be hard for you to be a successful blogger. So SEO stands for for search engine optimization. Mm-hmm. And basically what it is it helps you optimize your site so that when people Google and put certain terms in the search engine, your site comes up on the first page. Because how many of us go to the second, third, fourth, fifth page of Google, right? We normally, okay, well, you are a rarity, but most people, if they're searching for something, they probably don't go past the second page. They go, for the first page, the second page. Very rarely will they go any, past that. Bloggers and social media people, we do because we know that people can inflate things to be on the first page, and we want to make sure we're getting the accurate results. So we will go past the first and second page. But your regular person's not going to do that. So search engine optimization allows you to, again, kind of play with the algorithms that Google has set forth so that your stuff comes up higher priority than someone else's. The thing, though, about search engine optimization is it's tricky and it's changing because as Google changes its algorithm and changes its terms of service and things of that nature, then it causes us to change how we do certain things on the SEO side. There are plugins that you can purchase for there's paid and free versions on WordPress. I use WordPress SEO by Yoast. That, to me, is probably the best one, and it is also free, but there's a paid version. And I've noticed since I've been using it the last year and a half, I've had great results with it. Another thing with SEO, and this information I'm giving to you, I've went to workshops and I've paid hundreds of dollars. So you guys are getting some really good information. But another thing you want to keep in mind with SEO is Google likes when you use the same type of keywords in the same subject matter. When they see that you're using the same keywords and subject matter, they tend to rate your site higher than another site. So you can have a site that's talking about everything under the sun, and then you can have a site that's talking about like 5 main things, and that site that's talking about the 5 main things is going to get higher priority over the site that's talking about everything under the sun. So you want to have your blog have some of the same keywords in a lot of your posts so that Google can recognize you as an authority on that topic, and they will put you higher in their search engine than they will others.
Wow. That's okay. And pen ran out of ink. I got to get another pen to write more tips.
Yeah, and guys, you heard what she said, okay? This lady has been, sought out by some of America's top companies for this kind of information, and she's here on Think Positive Radio. Thanks a lot. We really appreciate that.
Definitely. Make sure you guys call in 917-932-1078. So we just talked about search engine optimization, looking for ways to help to drive traffic, if you will, to your blog. Do you have any other tips or tricks of the trade, if you will, that you're willing to share as to ways that you or a blogger can drive traffic to their blog, right? Because, they go through all of the first steps of, one, the courage, getting enough courage to get out there and put content out, but now they want the world to see. So how do they go about getting that exposure?
Well, one of the things that you want to do, again, is be active on social media. The thing about social media is, especially on Twitter, Facebook, we'll talk about that another time because it's a little weird right now, but Twitter, everybody's on the same playing field, meaning that if you're following somebody and you're following CNN, you're going to see that person that's not CNN and you're going to see CNN. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're tweeting some knowledge, people are going to read it and they're going to share it, and then they're going to, retweet you and then go to your blog. That's how I pretty much built my blog at the beginning, was on Twitter. And just sharing my content. So being very active on social media. When I say active, I'm not just talking about sitting and scheduling tweets, because anybody can do that. Being active and engaging takes time. It takes you replying to people, thanking people for sharing your content, tweeting things that are going on in your daily life, because people are nosy and they want to know stuff like that. So when you are approachable, when you're approachable and you're likable, I remember back in my sales days, this guy said something to me, and it resonates with me today. People buy from people they like. It's the same thing with social media.
True.
People follow people that they like. So be likable. Be a likable person. People will come to you. People will share your stuff. They'll gravitate to you. Another thing that you need to do to build your site is to build your mailing list. I tell people this all the time. Facebook now is changing the way that they do stuff. They want you to pay for people to see your posts. Twitter is changing the way that their whole interface looks. So people are changing, but your mailing list won't change. Unless they change their email, but it's yours, and you can use it how you see fit. So from day one, make sure you have a subscribe button on your website so people can subscribe to your blog or subscribe to your e-newsletter. And whenever you have a post or whenever you have something important to share, you can blast those people and get their attention. So that's another way to grow. Also, build a community. I have worked really hard with the Cubicle Chick with building a community. And how you do that is basically, again, reaching out to people on social media, emailing people, making sure you reply back. People remember stuff like that. They remember if you don't email them back, and they remember if you email them back. So when you build a strong base of people who will rock with you no matter what, then, you're halfway there. So those are really important tips on not only just having a website, but building your brand and building your presence and then growing it and having it reach the masses.
Awesome. And that's you're mentioning something that, we've talked about social media so much, Facebook and Twitter and everything else, is how strong of an influence it actually has, and even the success of blog writers. Would you agree that it's definitely a cornerstone, if you will, that your success and even exposure and all that could be built off of? Social media is a vital component of the whole equation.
It's very. The other day I was on another show and they asked me a question, what I've done without social media. I don't think I would be able to have gotten to where I have been without social media, because my voice wouldn't have reached that many people here in St. Louis. I'm not in a really big major market city, so I would have had to move somewhere, or to reach the volume of people that I reach. So social media is really important. Some people don't get it. They think it's just playing on the computer. They think it's just chatting all day. It's not. If you're utilizing social media effectively, it is work, and it is hard work, but the rewards pay off. If you had told me 4 years ago that I would be, traveling somewhere, every other week and doing the things that I do now, I wouldn't have believed you. But I'm able to do that in part because of social media. And so, it's single-handedly changed my life. So I really rock hard with social media. Anybody that knows me knows that that's what I do. And I love it. And it's done wonders for me in my life.
Awesome. Positive thinkers, we hope you hear what is going on here. You heard how she just dropped that little nugget, how she is on planes every other week. Oh, yeah, she's living that jet-setter lifestyle now. And it also can be yours for just the price of investing into yourself and investing in your education and making sure that you spend some time actually doing some research and preparation if you're looking to get out there and become a successful blogger. Awesome discussion going on as usual, but it's a formality. We have to take a quick moment to make sure that we pay some bills and go to break, but feel free to stick around, continue listening. If you're listening to a recorded version of that show, go ahead and let that play button play. There will be some more meat after this break. We will talk to you shortly. Survival Radio Network, Think Positive Radio.
FOCUS. Find opportunities, create unique success. Focus is an Empower agency that provides motivational tools needed to aid our youth and young adults in the metro Atlanta area. Allow Focus to provide your kids with additional help in developing self-awareness, leadership, communication, and empowerment skills. For more information on how to get started today, go to www.focusfruits.com. Focus, life coaching for youth and young adults.
Too many times we find ourselves wearing masks to cover our true selves. Girl in the Glass is an empowerment group that supports you in honoring the person you are meant to be. Go to www.girlintheglass.net and learn to trust, receive, and believe in your ability to live in your truth. Visit www.girlintheglass.net today.
All in together now. We can make it better now. Come on, can we do it? We know that we can. We'll rope it up, 'cause we know how to jump. We'll roll it out, we know how to game. We'll cut it down, we know what to eat. We'll swap it out. We eat healthy stuff.
Just moving a little and eating better every day can help make you and your kids healthier. Search We Can online to find doable tips and activities that you can use every day. That's We Can. A message from...
It's not always easy being a dad.
When's the fairy princess coming?
Any minute now.
What? What do you mean she's not coming?
But it's always worth it.
It's the fairy princess!
It is I, Groove, Zingle Bell.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
I know it's really you, Drew. I'm just pretending for the other kids.
Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That me though. That me though. I ain't got no problem with what you do. But do me though.
Welcome back to the show. You are now tuned in to Think Positive Radio. Reese, what's up?
Yes, sir. What's up, man? It's a good day right now. It's a good day.
It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. And we have the uber successful blogger, entrepreneur, just mega successful, the cubiclechick.com, a.k.a. Danyelle Little.
She's she's a Swiss Army knife of it all.
That's true.
She can do it all. So you guys are making sure that, you know, for you guys who are tuning in, you're getting blessed with some real good information right now. So please don't take it for granted.
Don't take it for granted. And you know what, Danyelle, you were mentioning earlier about how just even within seconds, there's tons and tons of blogs being created even right now. Probably, you know, over the span of this particular show, hundreds of blogs have been created. So everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people are definitely getting into it. What do you suggest as a tip or ways to separate yourself from other blogs or bloggers?
Yeah, so that's really important now, especially, again, as you said, there's so many people starting blogs. When I first started, there was a lot of blogs, but it's not as many as it is now. So right now you really have to, what I would say, niche yourself down, because in every topic there's millions and millions of blogs. So you really have to niche yourself down to get a good quality audience. So an example of that would be, let's say you're a food blogger. Well, it's not good enough to be a food blogger because there's tons and tons of food blogs. So you might want to niche yourself down to, let's say you like Mediterranean cuisine. So let's say that you're a food blogger that blogs about Mediterranean cuisine. But let's say that, let's just niche it down a little further. Let's say that you live in Florida. So let's niche it down even more to a food blogger that blogs about Mediterranean cuisine in South Florida. So you niche yourself down so much that everybody who's searching for that is going to come to you. You're going to be the authority of Mediterranean cuisine in South Florida. You're going to be the food blogger everybody goes to. So that's what you kind of have to do now, is you can't just be a food blogger. You can't just be, even me, I can't just be a career blogger. I am a working parent career blogger that also blogs about work-life balance. You see what I'm saying? So I've even had to niche myself down from when I first started to keep myself relevant. So that's what you have to do now, is you have to really make sure that you you're laser focused on a specific group of people.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. So I started my blog. I got my content popping. I even have some people coming to the site and sharing my content. They're sharing it on Facebook, they're sharing it on Twitter, Google+, all the other great sites, social media sites that are out there. Now, obviously, kind of like the situation that you were in where you were laid off. So if I'm at home and I have this new site and it's looking really good, I've put a lot of energy into it, how can I start getting money from my blog? Can you provide some insight on how you can monetize your blog?
I can. I usually charge for this, but you guys are my dudes, so I'm not going to charge.
We'll send you a check. Check in the mail.
Okay, so monetization, that's another, you could even do just a segment, a whole show on that, because there's a lot of things you can do. But I'm going to do the speed readers version of monetization. The first thing that most people do, the first thing that I did when I first started, is I signed up for Google AdSense. Google AdSense is an ad network run by Google, and they're the king. So you want to, try to do as much with Google as possible. And so basically, it don't matter if you have one reader or you have a million readers. Anybody can sign up with Google AdSense as long as you follow their terms of service, i.e., you don't have a porn, you don't have a porn site, you don't have, stuff that's against the terms of service, basically. So that's one of the ways that you can earn money. If you're getting good traffic, you can make some good money with Google AdSense just alone. But most people first starting out, it's going to take them a few months to accumulate, some ad revenue with them. But that's a good way to go. Another way that you can do is you can also sell ads on your own. There's tons of ad networks. I belong to Glam Media, which is a really good ad network. You have to be accepted, and you have to have, a threshold of readers and things of that nature. So it's hard to be a part of Glam Media. But you can also start selling ads on your own. I know the first, real money that I made on my site, I sold an ad myself to the local grocery store here in St. Louis, and they bought
nice.
It was Black History Month, and when they Googled Black mom bloggers in St. Louis, I came up, and they were like, oh, well, we want to buy some ads on your site. So that was the first really good money that I made. So you can sell ads on your own on your site, especially if you are niched down enough to where you draw demand. So you can sell advertising. You can also do sponsored posts. Sponsored posts is when a company pays you to write about a specific topic. If you go to the cubiclechick.com, on the first page, I think 3 or 4 articles down, Ragu Italian Sauce paid me to write about their new sauce that they have out, which I did try and which I did like. But to be honest, I didn't even really write about the sauce. I wrote about creating family traditions during dinner time. So when you think sponsored post, it doesn't have to be like a commercial. It could just be something surrounding, a movement or an activity surrounding the product. So that's the way that you can also make money, is by doing sponsored posts. But again, I would say, and I tell people this all the time when I consult them, when you first start your blog, you got to grow it first. I know everybody wants to make money. I didn't make money. I didn't get a good check on my blog until a year and a half after it was up. And I did it in a time where there were less blogs. So now it's even harder. So I would say build up your readership, build up your fan base, build up your social media, concentrate on all that, and then think about the money. And I know that's hard to do because everybody wants to make money. But you got to, it's like building a house. You can't build a house without the foundation. So you got to have that solid foundation first, and then you can work, you can work your way up after that.
Great, awesome. Yeah, well, you've been sought out by some of America's top organizations, Huffington Post, Verizon, Subaru. You just mentioned a couple others. How easy or hard is it to develop relationships with these types of companies?
I think it's easy. I think it's also your personality. If you are an outgoing person that is easy to talk to and relate to, I think it'd be really easy for you to develop brand relationships. If you're an introvert, you're kind of, harder to engage, then it may be harder for you. So definitely, if you have a pleasant personality, it will do wonders for working with brands. When I first started the CubicleChick.com on a professional level, i.e. when I lost my job and was pinned to the wall as to, okay, I need to make money with this website, I sat and wrote a dream list of brands I wanted to work with. And from there, I started reaching out to them on Twitter. You know, hey, I just
You reached out to them on Twitter first?
I reached out to them on Twitter first, a lot of them, yes. And a lot of them did not tweet me back. This was not no fairy tale. A lot of them I never heard from. But as I started gaining following and a momentum, I started hearing from these companies. And so it's just a synergy that works. But I don't think that you can expect to be an overnight success. I think it takes time. But I'm going to go back to my dream list. Everybody but 2, and I had 12 brands on that list. Everybody but 2 of those brands I've worked with. And those two that are on my list that I still have not worked with, 2014, I'm coming for you. 2014, I will be working with you.
Better watch out.
The gauntlet has just been laid down. No wonder she's based in St. Louis, the Show Me State. She is showing you guys right now how to get it done. So please make sure that you are taking really good notes. Ms. Danyelle Little of the CubicleChick.com.
Maurice, I just sent a tweet off to McDonald's, so hopefully they'll hit us back.
2014, we coming for you, D's. We see Ronald McDonald. He done changed up his garb. I'm not sure if you guys known that, but Ronald McDonald just got a whole new outfit. It's a fresh new look that they're trying to do at McDonald's, and part of the fresh new look could be think positive. So we coming for you, 2014, McD.
Danyelle, Facebook or Twitter?
Oh my gosh. You know what? It's almost like comparing apples to oranges now, the way things have changed. But personal preference, I'm a Twitter girl. I just love the instantaneous response and the usability of Twitter. Just love it. However, I have, when the Cubicle Chick is concerned, I have more followers or more likes or whatever you want to call it on Facebook than I do on Twitter. But I have to work 3 times as hard on Facebook than I have to do on Twitter. So, Twitter is my boo. That's I rendezvous a little bit with Facebook and have little little cheat sessions with Facebook. But Twitter's my man. Twitter's
Okay. Now, what's king? Traffic or content?
Oh, I hate these type of questions. Oh, okay.
Come on, give it to us.
It's all relative, really. It's all relative. But what's king? Okay, well, you know what? For me, it's content, okay? Because money is great, and traffic gives you the money. But for me, in my ego, I can't just put up anything on my website. Like that for me, I can't do that. So content is king for me, but engagement is queen. And I think engagement trumps content. Traffic, however, kind of comes, it's like the prince or it's like the court jester. It just kind of comes in and does what it does. But content, definitely. Content is king.
Okay. PC or Apple?
Okay. Already know. I'm an Apple girl. I'm all Apple everything. I'm all Apple. So.
He's allergic to Apple. That's why you just heard him sneeze. He's a PC dude.
That's what it was? I didn't know what that was.
That was a sneeze, yeah.
I thought that was like some hateration stuff going on.
No.
I'm Apple. I'm not opposed to using I'm not opposed to using Windows products and PC products, but the Apple ecosystem works for me. Everything kind of transfers to my machine in the cloud without me having to do anything. So when I download something on my iPhone, it's on my iPad, it's on my iPad mini, it's on my MacBook Pro. Like everything just kind of, it's very zen over here. I don't have to work really hard.
Okay. No doubt, no doubt. Hey, Danyelle, thank you so very much for joining us today on Think Positive Radio. This has been a great show. Listeners, positive thinkers, I hope that you've been writing down all of this great information. Like she said, she only gives this information to people that are providing a check, and there's been some of the biggest organizations that are out there. So, hey, what's next on the horizon for the Cubicle Chick?
Next up for me is I plan on releasing my third book this year, and it's I've done 2 ebooks previously. This is going to be an actual physical book that you can buy at the bookstore. So I'm working on that. Okay. And so that's like my biggest challenge and my biggest project this year. But I'm also working to expand the Cubicle Chick and do some more things with TV and possible syndication. So you just got to stay tuned.
Okay, awesome. Hey, let our listeners know where they can find you.
Okay, well, I'm pretty easy to find. I'm pretty much the Cubicle Chick on everything. On Twitter, the Cubicle Chick, at the Cubicle Chick, On Facebook, I'm facebook.com/the Cubicle Chick. YouTube, the Cubicle Chick. Google Plus, the Cubicle Chick 1. LinkedIn, the Cubicle Chick. Did I miss anything? Instagram, the Cubicle Chick. Shoot. You know what? If there's a social media platform out there,
you're on it.
Search the Cubicle Chick, and even if I'm not active, I'm pretty much on it. But yeah, everything's the Cubicle Chick. So look for me.
Awesome. Yes, please look for her. Positive Thinkers. Go to our website. If you haven't followed her, follow her. Find her on Twitter. Find her on Facebook. She's also, now get this, she's also a contributor for Think Positive Magazine. So make sure you visit our website at thinkpositivemag.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter as well.
That's right, at 3 p.m. Check us out next Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the next installment of Think Positive Radio here on the Survival Radio Network with Telly and Maurice. And remember, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he.
That's right. And you know what? Don't be pushed by your dreams. Don't be pushed by your problems. Be led by your dreams. Positive thinkers, you will have what you say. So get out there and have a good day. We'll see you next week.
3 p.m. Positive Radio.